I don't know. I know I don't like it. And I know that if I ate it, I would like it even less. You like it? You eat it.
Then they would try to corner me with logic.
How do you know you don't like it? If you've never even tried. It came to me in a dream.
Some things don't look right.
I don't like that, Ma. Don't look right to me. Did you make that? Is there a picture of it in the cookbook? I bet it don't look like that.
Let's face it, be honest, some things don't look right. Of course, some people eat anything. I know that. Some guys eat anything. I saw those guys in the army on the chow line. What's this? Never mind, give me a whole lot of it. That's rat's asshole, Don. Well, it certainly makes a hell of a fondue. Don't look, I don't eat anything I don't recognize immediately. If I have to ask questions, fuck it, I pass. You know? Tomatoes don't look right either. On the outside, they're fine. Tomatoes look lovely on the outside, but you look inside a tomato and something is wrong. Something has gone afoul inside of a tomato. It doesn't look right, you know? It doesn't look like it's finished yet, for one thing. It looks like it's in the larval stage or something. There's thousands of seeds and a whole bunch of jelly-looking stuff.
Get it off my plate.
Squishy. It's like that stuff at the end of an egg. And I know it's not the end of an egg. It's the beginning of a chicken. It's hen come. We go to play Monopoly in groups of 4, 5, 6, huh? I guess. Monopoly, I still play now and then. I think you never leave that completely. You know, if they need an extra guy, you know, I don't start them up. Come on, okay, put me in up. Because I was never very good at it, you know. I didn't do very well. I have a couple of railroads, you know. Not a complete asshole. A couple of railroads, snap up Baltic Avenue as soon as that became available. How much is that? 60? Let me have that, mother. About the best thing I'd ever have would be, well, maybe one piece of property in the light blue series. Oriental Avenue, nothing on it, of course. Maybe an excavation. That's about all I ever had on my stuff was plans. Surveyor's marks. All my friends had industrial parks, condominiums, shopping centers, malls. Oh boy, Colin, you're coming down my side now, man. Wow. Big one. Hot shit, a 12. Of course, you can't move your token till you remember which one you had. Which token did I have? Which did I have? You Bushy, you had the you got the racing guys, you got the red, you got the I got the ship, I got the battleship every game. The worst token to have was the gun, the big cannon. It was the only token that kept falling over, you know? It was the only top heavy. Throw the dice anywhere near that one. Who are you? Are you the gun? Are you the gun? Pick it up, would you please? And you, are you in jail or just visiting? Okay, we'll put the car on the outside if you're just visiting. Some guys cared. That's right. That's why they won. I never won. I was always in there at the end, though. At the end of the game, because I'd have all the $1 bills. Sure, 1,500 in singles, and they needed me to make change, man. For all their filthy deals. No, I wasn't that good at the game. Generally I used to. I would land on chance all the time. Constantly landing on chance. Try to buy it. You're getting more fights trying to buy chance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Little man with a hat. $200 for being an asshole. Shuffle them good. That's the second time I got that one.
There's a lot of shit you have to put up with when you're driving, like red lights. When did this bullshit start? I only noticed them about a month ago myself. And I'll be honest with you, I don't stop for them anymore. I did for about a week, didn't like it. Fuck them. I'm gone. I got no time to sit there jacking around listening to the news. You know my motto in traffic? Cop didn't see it, I didn't do it. I'm gone. I haven't hit anybody yet. Haven't hit anybody. I've had a few people behind me hit each other, but hey. That's not me, that's back there. Me, I'm gone. And I'm getting a whole lot better mileage. Especially in town. God damn, them sidewalks come in handy, don't they? Well, what are they gonna do if they catch me? Give me a ticket? You know, that's the big fear in some people's lives. Ain't this a bitch might get a ticket? You know how to handle a ticket by now, don't you? You gotta be firm with the policeman. Be firm with that policeman. Policemen respect strength. While he's writing out the ticket, you gotta flash him a whole lot of bad looks. Then when he's almost finished writing, reach over and grab the ticket out of his hand. Tell him you're gonna check it over for mistakes. Then when you finish reading it, crumple it up and throw it at his feet. And say, fuck you and your ticket too. You asshole in a hat. Can't you see I have enough garbage on the floor of my car already? Without another worthless piece of paper from the state? I got 8 or 9 of them fucking things floating around in here. Hey. Don't I pay your salary? They like that when you're interested in the state budget. You're a public servant. Get me a glass of water. You pin-headed prick. You're holding me up, Jack. People are waiting for me at a party. I got a trunk full of heroin. Get the fuck out of my way, will ya? Tell them it's your car. Tell them it's your car and you do what you goddamn want with it. See, I own this car. My name is on the pink slip. I do what I want, and I own the highway, too. That my taxes paid for that. They're both mine. I own the highway and I own the car. I own everything, goddammit! You'll be glad to hear that shit. That's what they like, people who know their rights. That way they don't have to read them to you on the way downtown to the maximum security penitentiary where you'll spend the rest of your life with no conjugal visits. Except from some big guy you don't want one from. Well, I get pissed, goddammit! There's a lot of shit you have to put up with when you're driving. Like these jogger assholes. I've killed 3 of the motherfuckers myself. 3. I have killed 3 jogger assholes. Out. I'd have more, I'd have a few more, but I don't always kill them. Sometimes I just toy with them, you know? I pull up in my car and with my right front tire, I pull the sneaker off their heel. course, he can't hear me coming because he has on his Walkman. I'm wearing my Walkman today. I'm cutting the world out. Bullshit you are, asshole. They think they're gonna live longer by jogging. Not if they get near my fucking machine, they're not. You're going away! It's Michelin on Nike time! I don't know which is worse, the jogger assholes or the bicycle riding creeps. These faggots on their bicycles. And they got special little hats, you know, they have special little hats to protect their special little heads. And they all try to act grown up. These bicycle people try to act mature because they know basically they're dealing with a toy, so they try to act grown up by giving hand signals. That makes them feel adult. They give hand signals. He's going to tell me where he's going. I'll tell you where you're going. You're going 30 feet up in the fucking air is where you're going. Back on the sidewalk with the rest of the children. Does your mother tell you to keep your toys in the yard? Well, I get pissed, goddammit! There's a lot of shit you have to put up with when you're driving. Like the other cars. Have you noticed that hazard? Oh, thousands of these other cars, many of them with people who have licenses, apparently. And they get you so fucking pissed off. Some of these people in their cars, they get you so fucking pissed off. You get so fucking pissed off, you know what I mean? Do you ever get so fucking pissed off that you forgot where you're going? Because you got behind someone who isn't going anywhere either? A man with no destination at all? And I say, step on all the pedals, maybe one of them means go! Oh, they get you pissed. I don't know where they come from, but I believe there's an automotive harassment squad that is notified when I leave the house. All right, he's leaving now. Everyone in position. And they're laying for me all along my route. Here's a guy making a U-turn in reverse. Here's a woman backing out of a bush. And each of them has a special talent. Each driver has one thing he does for you. First of all, there's the guy whose turn signal has been on since 1955. Then there's his opposite. That's the guy who doesn't put his turn signal on until he's finished the turn. He's going to tell you where he was. Then there's the guy behind you at night whose brights are on. He has his brights on in case you want to read. Well, I just happen to have a copy of Ivanhoe with me. Oh, don't they get you pissed? Don't they get you so goddamn mad sometimes when you're out there? Some of them especially. Here's one you know. Here's a feeling you'll recognize immediately. You ever been behind somebody on like a 2-lane road or something? Somebody you cannot get around. You've been behind him already for like 18 minutes, and you want to get somewhere, and he's not moving at all. And do you ever get so pissed off that all you want to do now is catch up with him to see what the fuck he looks like? You know that feeling? Dude, I just want to see this cocksucker's face. Look, he looks exactly like I thought he would. Constipated! Cars to watch out for. First car is any car where the driver is also on the phone. Technology has brought us these self-important twits. You know, if phones were invisible, these guys wouldn't own them. The whole idea is for you to see the phone so you'll know he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. He's reaching out. That's what he'd tell you. I am reaching out. Well, reach out and jerk me off. Then there's these people who want you to go ahead of them. This courtesy bullshit that's going around. See, I don't think it's real courtesy. That's why I don't like it. It's a bogus, it's a counterfeit generosity. Everybody wants me to go first. You, go ahead, please. Go. Even when I leave the house in the morning, there's a guy there at 7 a.m. waiting for me. I'm waiting for you to come out so you can go first. Go ahead, go. I think it's a post-Vietnam guilt syndrome of some kind. You know, America has lost its soul, so now it's going to save its body. It's like the fitness craze in this country. Well, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Doesn't work that way. And I'm sitting in the driveway. I know I'm sitting there. I'm stuck. It looks like I'm stuck, but I'm not asking for any help. I'm not asking for anything. Just sitting there. And some yo-yo, some putz, some world-class, high-tech, state-of-the-art yo-yo who hasn't had a generous thought since St. Swithin's Day slams on his brakes, kills 3 people behind him, and doesn't ask me to go, tells me to go. You, go. Fuck you! You go! I like it here. I come here all the time. You go. And then when he goes, crash into him. And if he gets out to complain, say, hey, you said to go. Thank you all very much. Have a good time. Good night, Kelly. Good night, Kelly. See you all later. Thank you. Appreciate it.
XM's Performance Theater. I'm Sonny Fox, and we are honoring this time around an icon, a fellow who has really changed comedy as we know it, literally. He's celebrating 50 years of entertainment this year. He's gone through more changes than most people do in a lifetime, and he's invited us along on those changes. And sort of like the Beatles, we've gone through those changes with him. And he spent 50 years, think about that, 50 years making us laugh. And more importantly, in some people's opinion, he's spent 50 years making us think. Would you welcome, please, Mr. George Carlin.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming.
Sure.
It's your first visit to XM, right?
Yes, it is. Is this okay, let distance and everything?
Sure.
Yeah.
You look pretty good for an old fart.
Well, first time I've done makeup for radio. Old fart is...
Oh, I forgot. You're not an old fart. You're...
an old fuck.
Yeah, right.
I'm an old fuck. Kind of like a fat fuck, tall fuck, the skinny fuck, short fuck, you know. That's not old man. Old man is kind of like not an age or a period of your life. Old man is a point of view, you know? It's a way of looking at the world. There are some guys who are old men in their 20s and 30s. You've seen them. You know, they just got old mannish ways. Sometimes you see a little kid with glasses and a double-breasted suit, and he's like a little old man. You know? So it's not old man. It's not old fart, which is kind of like... It's old fuck, you know. In this respect, fuck is a synonym for the word fellow.
Well, you look pretty good for an old fellow.
Well, I feel pretty good for a 69-year-old guy. Yep.
You're going to be celebrating 70 next month?
That's right. May. Yeah.
Wow. 70 years old. Now, 50 years in show business, when I was doing some research, I thought, how often do you speak to somebody who's worked with Ed Sullivan and Keanu Reeves? It's quite a... Who's more fun, by the way?
Keanu is really fun on the set with Alex Winter. I was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure with the two of them. And then the sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Yeah, they were a lot of fun. They were very strange. But, you know... well, they would never calm down until they call for action on the shot. They would clown and kid around and play grab ass and everything right up until the last second, and then it would be like and action, and suddenly they would be in the scene. And it threw me because I was trying to be an actor, you know, I was trying to be serious about what I had to do.
Right.
And I'd have to just stand there and kind of like keep my mind on my first line, you know, because I'm not a trained actor. And
We'll talk about your movie career, and we're going to invite
such
people.
as it is.
Yes. Invite people up for questions throughout
Good.
this whole thing.
Good.
But I do want to go back to what started this whole thing.
Right.
You were born in New York.
That started it.
Now, you,
Is this collar okay?
oh,
Is collar straight?
looks great.
I kind of fussy about the collar.
Your mother made a rather important decision when you were just a baby to
With my
raise-
dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a drinker, and he was a very successful advertising salesman in newspapers, selling space. And he was an accomplished public speaker, after dinner speaker, they called him. And he was a drinker and a bit of a bully. He never did beat her or touch her or anything like that, but he kind of terrorized her and was abusive to my brother. So she didn't want that happening to me. And when I was 2 months old, my brother was 5 years old, she took us out the fire escape window in her father's apartment in New York. I in her arms and my brother at her hand, down the fire escape into the backyard, through the backyards out to Broadway, and into my uncle's Packard, and drove us off to the country, and she never looked back. And she got back into business and advertising and raised 2 boys during the last half of the recession, the Depression, the Great Depression, and the Second World War. So she did quite a job.
Your mom's been quite an influence on you.
Yeah, well, she was the sole parent, of course, and she was absent because she had to work. So I did a lot of parenting to myself. I engaged in a lot of mental activity to kind of fill the void which children will do, and I had radio to listen to. But she was very conscious of language, as was her father. Her father, a New York City policeman, my grandpa, whom I never knew. I never knew any of the grandparents. I never knew my father either. I had the one parent in my experience. And my grandfather was a cop in New York, 20 years, around, way back, because they were all rather old when their kids were born. So as a result, this was in the 1890s. And he wrote out, my grandfather wrote out many of the works of Shakespeare longhand during his lifetime because of the joy it gave him. That was the explanation he had. Wow. So that's an indication of the language gene at work, and my mother inherited that. The Irish have that to a great degree. Some do, some don't, but it's kind of a generalization, but it's true. It's an Irish trait, language. And gift of gab. My father had it, my mother had it. So it was natural for me to have that, and then she reinforced it. These things have to be reinforced as well, and she reinforced it.
Now, your brother, Patrick, was 5 years older than you.
Patrick, yes.
Usually when you have a brother 5 years older, you usually become the punching bag. How did
he was too
handle
busy out getting laid and fighting and drinking. He didn't want to bother with that. He didn't have time for bullying. It's not in his nature. But you know what he told me? He said, when you came home from the hospital, and you know about how a young child can react to a new baby in the house. There are kind of certain horror stories you hear about how tough it is for the kid to adjust to that, and sometimes there's hostility. He said, I was so glad when you came home from the hospital. He said, I was so curious about you, and I used to watch you in the crib, and so he has a wonderful, wonderful nature, but he inherited, I think, also my father's temper, so he was more of a fighter than I was. In the neighborhood, he was a physical guy, in the bars and on the street corners. But I wasn't really of that type.
You, in fact, used one of Patrick's jokes last night on stage.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's still alive, of course, up in Woodstock. He said something that I wrote down a long time ago, and I just started saying it recently. He said, what we should do is take all the mentally defective people in this country and give them government jobs and just sit back and watch things improve. He's a pretty funny guy and very verbal. Very, very verbal. More so than I even, I think.
You and him have a sort of the same perspective.
Pat and I? Yeah. We both feel it's, we're both opposed to organized religion. We're both opposed to, the way government had, the way the citizens have organized themselves in this country, which passes for government. I think the Republic is a failure. We both, for the most part, think this experiment was nice while it lasted, and we're not too impressed with the human species because, the record is rather not a good one. And so we inhabit the same area in those kind of philosophical areas, and we talk a lot on the phone a couple of times a week, and we have, you see what we have. I'm 69 years old now. He's 75, and we have common memories. We have common experiences and nomenclature and things in our childhood that I can call him up and mention a brand name that is no longer in existence. Like Ipana toothpaste. I can call up and I can say, Pat, Ipana. And he'll say, yeah, wow, It's so great. We're both we're Irish. There's another generalization. The Irish are very kind of sentimental and like that, and there's a nostalgia that we love, and we're both a bug for those artifacts of our childhood, and it's just nice to have that. So common vocabulary, common background, common memories.
Do you remember, by the way?